Hello everybody, this is Kyle. Welcome back to another video by Dissociative. This is a channel that provides education about DID, dissociative identity disorder, and other mental illnesses. Today we're going to be talking to you about self-care. I know that either Nin or Chloe did a video about the difference between self-care and self-indulgence. So if you ain't seen that, I'd check that one out first. I think it's a pretty decent video, if I do say so myself. I didn't have anything to do with it, but I still think it's pretty decent. So yeah, if you ain't checked that out, check that out. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kyle. I'm the primary protector of the system. I'm an alter in the dissociative system. I've done fucking ages ago, Meet the Alters video about who I am. But for this video, at least, we're going to be talking about self-care. So if you are interested in that, especially through all the COVID disaster that's been going on, self-care is more important than ever. So keep watching. Before we go any further, in the interest of complete transparency, we want to let you know this video is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN extension that lets you place your phone, laptop, TV anywhere in the world. It encrypts all your data so that the things that you want to stay private, stay private. Passwords, photographs, personal information is still protected. It's an ideal extension for making self-care easy because it lets you watch content in other countries no matter where you are. So let me tell you a story about this. Like, so often this happens. I'll be seeing everywhere people talking about like the newest series, whatever's going viral at the minute. I'll be waiting all day for my chance to front. I've been thinking about this all week. I want to know what everyone else is checking out, right? I've got, a blanket, got hot chocolate because it's winter in it. Got to have a hot chocolate and settle down, ready to watch, turn on Netflix, and it's not on the UK version. And I'm like, I don't want to miss out. I've been waiting for this, With Surfshark, that's alright. I can just be a virtual American for a day, or at least my TV thinks I am. Thank you, Surfshark. Surfshark has supported us by sponsoring this video, which gives us the freedom to create the content that you want to see. Support us by supporting them. If you want to use a VPN, make sure it's Surfshark. They've given us a proper real offer for you guys, 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. To use this, you can get Surfshark by following the link in our description and use the promo code dissociated. So, self-care. Like I said, watch that other video first because it's important to make that distinction between what is self-care and what is self-indulgence. What kind of self-care do you need just to be able to live a daily life happily, like sleep and eating right and making sure you're getting up and that sort of stuff. That's all covered in the other video, but this video is going to be more about what people tend to think of when you think of self-care. Like, I reckon loads of you would think like, oh, self-care, I'm gonna have a bath. We've heard before when people talk about self-care and they're just like, oh, just have a bath and a cup of tea and you'll feel better. And it's like, well, I appreciate the thought and the sentiment, but seriously though, self-care, little bits every now and again, it really does help. So what are the ways that actually work that if you're using them correctly and you're remembering to do for yourself will actually help to manage your mental health, especially if you're suffering with mental illnesses, especially if you're suffering with loneliness, you're quarantining, you're isolating, like the whole world has changed in a minute. How do we get back to being ourselves and not losing who we are? So many of us are so reliant on social media at the minute. Like, you've always got your phone in front of you, you're always scrolling. If you're not scrolling, you're working online from home and stuff like that. We're constantly in front of screens and we're constantly seeing what other people are saying to us, about us, what's expected of us. Like 20 years ago, people didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Like, sure, it's given us so much extra connection to people and that's super important, especially if you're isolating, but it shouldn't be 24/7, man. And sometimes it really is 24/7. Like, you wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone and you're scrolling, you're chilling out by watching TikToks or Instagram or whatever, and then you go to work and you're staring at a screen again. You're constantly getting all this feedback and light in your eyes and stuff like that. It stresses your brain out, man. Relaxing by watching, TikToks and cute dogs and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's a form of self-care too, but in moderation. Like, we weren't built to have to take in so much information about the world, especially when, we see constantly like bad news and bad things happening and stuff like that. Like even in nice comment sections, people arguing all the time and things like that, even on like cute dog videos and stuff like that. The negativity is everywhere, even around positive things. The more stuff is repeated to you, even if you don't believe it, this is why self-affirmations work, right? Even if you're repeating something that you don't believe, your brain recognizes that repetition and will start to believe it. That's why if you're looking in the mirror every day and you're saying, oh, you look ugly, you look disgusting or whatever, first of all, you don't. You're fucking beautiful the way you are, right? Your brain's going to start to believe it because it's a repeating message. So if you switch that round to the other way around and be like, you're beautiful, your brain is going to start to believe that the more you repeat it. This weren't the initial topic I was going for, but I'm going to stick with it for a minute. We've heard people say stuff like that before, and I've always been like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you hear people being like, oh, you just tell yourself you're beautiful, just tell yourself you're worthy and stuff like that. I just hate myself more, you know, because I'm saying it and I know I ain't believing it. It just makes me feel even less than, you know? So you don't have to start off by saying stuff that you find almost repulsive to say. You can start off, rather than saying my body is beautiful, say like, my body gets me around. Rather than saying I deserve the world or whatever, just say I'm a human being. I deserve respect. Just little things. You can build it up. The key is those repeating messages. Anyway, back onto what I was actually supposed to be talking about. Social media stuff. Turn your phone off. We have never ever listened to people telling us to do that. But when we actually did, because our control over that situation was taken away from us, so we had phone taken from us, right? You will be amazed by the difference. You know, even if your phone is off, like, we'll just be reaching for the phone and it's off. But it's a really unhealthy habit. Having those rules, those set, let's say 1 hour, 2 hours. Trust me, if people need to contact you, there are other ways of doing it. Put it in another room, go downstairs, leave it there, do something else. And sometimes it's like, well, what else can I do? You don't have to be contactable through your phone 24/7. You are a human being. You ain't a corporate robot. And even if the world did blow up in those 2 hours, there's nothing you can do about it. You'll find out in 2 hours anyway, and it ain't your responsibility to manage that. I know Nin is always, you know, on a soapbox about this and like, your health has to come first, your healing has to come first, your self-care has to come first. But I mean, I'm the one who taught her that. So like, I'm going to tell you exactly the same thing. You matter, you come first. You come first. You know, stand up for that. You deserve that. Alright? Don't let anybody tell you different. I'm a human being. I need to take care of myself. That is exactly what you need to tell yourself and anyone else. You can set boundaries, and you need to set boundaries for yourself as well. Not just boundaries for other people and how other people can treat you, but how you can treat yourself. Take time off and stick to it. Or even if you're looking at diaries and planners of, oh God, well, what have I got to do in 2 days? For example, if it's the beginning of a weekend. Well, I've got to do this. It's constantly in your brain, like constant stress. You're living for the future, even if that future is tomorrow. You've got to learn to exist in the present. You are allowed to exist. Don't waste your life by worrying about what comes tomorrow. Yeah, you can prepare for it, but you still got to let yourself exist as you are, man. Ain't nobody built to be able to handle the kind of stresses that we have in this century, you know. Things change so quick. We ain't evolved to be able to deal with the kind of stuff that we face on a daily basis, all of us. And like I said, yeah, beautiful shit comes out of it. Beautiful shit comes out of the internet and stuff like that. But, you know, that beautiful shit means nothing if you're too depressed to see it. I was rambling there. I'm gonna condense that into a more concise manner. Take time for yourself. Not just take time for yourself, but take time to just be with yourself. And I bet for a lot of you that is probably like, oh my God, that's the last thing I want to do, you know, especially if you don't like yourself. You're going to be with yourself more than you're ever going to be with anyone else. You've got to learn how to be comfortable in yourself. And yeah, that might take decades, man. But who doesn't want to be comfortable in themselves? Set your boundaries, set your rules. I won't do any work on weekends. I won't do any work after 8 PM. I won't do any chores on Monday or whatever. Figure out what fits for you. Make sure you're setting those boundaries that force you to take time off. Set rules for yourself that force you to let go. This will help you, especially if you're a perfectionist or you're heavily work focused. Now, stuff I've just said works for anyone, regardless of any mental illnesses, if you even have a mental illness, if you are a system, whether you've got DID, OSDD or not. But if you do have DID or OSDD specifically, what I was saying about spending time with yourself, you also need to make time to communicate with your system, and not just in like your average way. Like I think last week Nin made a video about how to communicate and how to organise and have a productive life with DID or OSDD. That's stuff that you can just do generally, right? Write a post-it note or whatever. You still need to take time to just sit for a minute and look inwards. Not everyone can see their inner worlds, not everyone has communication with like the other alters in their systems at all, but just sit and feel it. Sometimes the emotions and the stress that you hold in your body and stuff like that ain't always coming from you. And if you're too stressed or too distracted by your phone to be paying attention to what your body and your system is telling you, you're going to fall into crisis a lot faster than if you were able to pay attention and pick up those signals. The amount of times as primary protector when Nina's got stuck out for a couple of days, fronting for a couple of days, whoever's fronting is the person in control of the body, basically. So like right now, Kyle, I am fronting. The amount of times I've been trying to get messages through to Nin, and she's been so overwhelmed with what is going on in this external world, or so desperate to get away from it and relax, that she's just glued to her phone, just trying to calm down, that none of my messages are getting through. I cannot contact her, don't matter how, loudly I shout, if I can't get through, I can't get through, because her attention, she's blocked me out, right? She ain't meant to do that most of the time, I think. It doesn't help, As an alter, I mean, all of us are alters, Nin's an alter too, but as a primary protector, somebody who is responsible for the other people in the system especially, it's really frustrating. The host is always just doing what they think is best, like they're not out to deliberately make your life harder. This is difficult for all of us, right? Letting go a little bit and just setting some time aside to just sit, let it open, just sit, listen, try and reach out in your mind. Who's close? Can you tell? What are you feeling right now? Are you sure those feelings are coming from you? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel anxious? Is your heart beating fast? Are you holding your shoulders tight? When was the last time you unclenched your jaw? Are you sat stooped over? Roll your shoulders up to the sky. Not all the way round. Up to the sky, up to the top. And let them drop. Up to the sky. Let them drop. You may have just heard my back clicking. Just doing little things like that. Notice what your body is telling you and let your mind be open to receiving messages from your alters. It ain't as easy as that, I know it ain't, and it ain't going to work this way for every system. Just bear it in mind that that's another important reason to be taking time to be with yourself. Reacquaint yourself with who you are. Turn off that social media. No judgment. Nobody's watching you. Social media ain't a real world. Reacquaint yourself with who you are without it. No outside influence, no filters, no likes, no comments, no judgment. You're free to just be. Experience things that you enjoy, not the things that you think other people should think you should enjoy. Set time aside for that, stick to it. No phone calls, no pressing time limits. Just allow yourself to get lost in it. Focus your attention as wholly on that as you can. And this is a key aspect of mindfulness. And mindfulness is very, very helpful in daily life for everybody, mental illnesses or not. If you like to read books for self-enjoyment. You can leave the learning for another time. Are you embarrassed that you like reading romantic fantasy or children's books? It doesn't fucking matter. Do it because you enjoy it. You are here to live your life. Watch that new show you wanted to start on Netflix. Use Surfshark if you need to. Light candles. Read in the bath. Go to bed early. Reject societally embedded embarrassment. It's about what you enjoy. What other people think doesn't matter. You exist to make yourself happy, along with whatever else you decide to dedicate your life to. Spend time with animals. Go outside. Go on a walk if you can. Reach out to friends. Make sure you're communicating with people. Try not to isolate yourself too much. Stick to people you know you can trust, but still make sure that you're getting that time for yourself with no one else around. Utilize smells like candles or essential oils because scent is our strongest sense connected to memory. If you're associating the smell of a particular candle or something like that to your self-care time, you're going to relate that smell to relaxation. And whenever you smell it, your body is going to relax quicker. You're going to get into that state of mind faster and easier. Turn the lights down. Take a warm shower. Record silly stuff that you'll never post for the fun of it. Paint bad art. Be self-indulgent. Allow yourself to simply be. I know I ain't as eloquent as Nin, but I'm pretty sure I got across what I'm trying to let you know. Self-care ain't just about what you're doing physically to look after yourself or what you're doing physically to relax. It's about the state of mind that you're in, the regularity of it. Just repeating messages, like I said. Make it a habit, but just going through the motions ain't gonna help you. You've got to be in that state where you're as close to feeling safe as you possibly can be. And if you can't feel safe, I mean, it ain't alright, but it's alright. You know, maybe one day we'll all reach a place where we're healthy enough to feel safe again. But until then, you can't put your life on hold. Gotta work towards it. You deserve to work towards it. You deserve to feel better. Taking that time for yourself isn't selfish. It ain't irresponsible. It's the opposite. Don't forget you're a human being and you need to treat yourself like one. You're a person first and foremost. Alright, babes. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful, reassuring, validating, whatever you needed it to be. I have very much missed my babes. I hope you're all well and we'll see you next time. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.